Well, for the newcomers in this game, how do you simulate that environment that they're going to walk into?
Yeah, you don't. You can do it in noise machines, you can do anything you like. Obviously we were at Ohio State first game, and going into this environment like this, you don't simulate it. You just you rely on your habits, you rely on your system. Hopefully my voice will come back so they'll be able to hear my calls. Maybe we'll have to have some. I can get one of those card things like football does, those cards. But no, you don't simulate it. You just do what we do, and you rely on the veterans who've kind of been in those environments before.
Whether when you were at Northern or just growing up in the area, what were your thoughts kind of watching from close proximity this rivalry?
Well, growing up in the area, all the great players that are part of it, all the great coaches that have been a part of it, it was always a game you wanted to catch, you wanted to watch because the intensity of it and the familiarity of it and the fans, obviously the excitement level around it is something that wasn't lost on me growing up. And now to get a chance to be a part of it is certainly not lost on me either.
I know you had some, play pickup games with maybe probably guys from both schools growing up. Did you ever any Xavier UC skirmishes in any of those pickup games? Statute of limitations is probably passed on that. You could share.
Yeah. If stories could talk, there were some interesting battles.
What's your strategy in general on preparing for big rivalry games? Is it just like every other game, or do you feel like those are things that you have to treat differently and pump up and embrace the bigness of a rivalry game?
I don't think it's anything that you have to, over prepare for or, over communicate. I think along the lines of, we do what we do each and every day, but you also got to recognize the emotion that's involved in it as well. And we always say emotion fades, passion sustains. So no matter how emotional you get, that's going to fade during the course of a 2-hour game. And you're not going to sustain that for 40 minutes. So if you're going to rely on outside sources to get you excited or to take you out of what your thought process is, you're probably in the wrong sport. And we'll acknowledge that, and certainly for what it's worth. But at the same time, we got to go out and execute our game plan as they do too.
Is there any sign in the locker room that says how many days there are to the crosstown shootout each year?
There is a sign in the locker room, and it's how many days there are to Ohio State, to Drake, we update that each game.
Yeah.
So it's not one more than the other, but we recognize it.
What, in your opinion, was the biggest rivalry, whether as a player or coach, that you've been involved with previously?
Well, I wasn't on the sideline. Alabama-Auburn football was pretty big. I've watched that from afar, but I would say, Alabama-Auburn probably, to the extent of this, BCODU when I was coaching there. Obviously this is not to compare them, but this is as good a rivalry as there is in the country. In my opinion, probably an undervalued rivalry nationally.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I would say, you heard about Duke, North Carolina, Louisville, Kentucky. Cincinnati Xavier's right up there with anybody.
Xavier had 29 second chance points last night against Green Bay. This is important in every game, but how much will you emphasize boxing out and crashing the boards, especially against a team like Xavier who has Najee Marshall?
Yeah, no, they're elite on the glass, and they're elite in a lot of areas. This is a really good basketball team. Travis has done a great job. They're extremely disciplined. It's a good defensive basketball team that I've seen in a while. We'll rely on our habits again. We do blockout drills every day, so are we going to do it in the game? Is our guards going to stay in and rebound? Are they going to leak out and try to start and break? When we grab rebounds, we're going to hand it. We're going to grab them and hold on to them. We're going to lose them. And those are things that matriculate over the course of a game. And bottom line is, our guys know what they have to do, and they just got to execute.
What's your relationship like with Travis? Do you know him fairly well?
Yeah, I've got to know him. There's a tremendous amount of respect for him. I think he's, I mentioned how good of a coach, really knowledgeable, smart guy. And we've crossed paths quite a bit over the time of my being in the area and certainly in the profession.
I know you're focused on the game, but is there a recruiting aspect to all this? You've talked about wanting to recruit regionally and locally, and just
well, I think Cincinnati and Xavier probably recruit against each other more right now than they ever have. And I don't know, I wasn't here before, but I know that we recruit against them a lot. So a lot of the kids that visit us visit them when they're on their unofficial visits. So there's recruiting battles and there's battles on the court that when you're this close to each other and geographically that just work out over time.
Does it matter to recruits who wins a game like this, or is that what factors into there?
I don't know. You have to ask them. I have no idea.
Any update on Jaron's hip?
Yeah, he will not practice today, and because he can't. So you know, I'm not a doctor, but I'd say questionable right now. We'll see if he can do anything tomorrow, but I know he's out for today. It's not because we're resting.
Timetable on Jay.
I only have one. I had a 3 to 4 week timetable, and I know it hasn't been expedited. In fact, I think if anything, it's probably been pushed back a little bit potentially. I don't think he's recovering as quickly as we would like.
How much are you talked about kind of identifying roles as you've gotten past that 7-8 game mark? Where are you at in terms of rotations? Are you still tinkering with that? I know health plays into that.
Yeah, it'd be ideal if we didn't lose guys for half a game, and, you know, full games and things like that. And control injuries. There's no the training staff, the coaching staff, the strength and conditioning staff. None of us can control injuries, so you have to go and you have to handle it. And you build your rotation over time. And I mean, with you know, our young guys. You know, I've been in this profession a long time. Guys that didn't play much in the beginning of the season, all of a sudden are potential starters at the end of the season. They're high minutes guys. So it's a marathon. It's a process of making sure you get the best rotation you can. And it's also game to game at times. So if anything, we've shown we played a lot of guys during the course of trying to figure out where we want to go in terms of that rotation. And I feel more comfortable with it than I did 7 games ago. But you just never know where it'll take you.
What do you tell a young guy like Zach who might go from playing 20-plus minutes one night to 5 the next night?
I'll tell you exactly what I told him about an hour and a half ago in my office, was that, you know, I believe in you. We have a plan for you. There's some pretty talented players right now that are in your position as well, and they play really well in the Vermont game. So, you know, you played 29 minutes in, what was it, the Valpo game. So stay locked in. Don't over-evaluate it. My trust in you is pretty deep, and make sure you show it in practice so it can contribute into the game.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.